Welcome back. Niagara Falls Mayor Jim Diodati is back to talk about what's happening around the city. And Mayor, I want to get to all the amazing things happening in Niagara Falls, but I think we have to start with the tariffs and the threat of tariffs from Donald Trump. How are you seeing the impact in your community?
Well, we haven't seen it yet, and we're worried because obviously in Niagara Falls we get 14 million tourists, and typically 25% are American, and they represent 50% of the revenue into Niagara Falls. But right now with the exchange rate, there's a huge advantage for Americans. So typically, this would mean we're going to be really busy with Americans. So far, there's been no disruptions on the border, on the bridges, and there's been no cancellations for conferences and hotels. So far, so good. Fingers crossed. And we know this is political with politicians. It's not the American people. Americans love Canada and Canadians, and we've got a little love fest going on. This is politics. So hopefully, everyone sees past it and they visit us.
So tourism so far okay. The border, though, we're looking at increased border security coming, a $1.3 billion plan from the federal government. Fentanyl czar, much more border patrol there as well. Are you expecting an impact from that at all?
Well, I think this is a really good move, and I think this is what really got under the skin of President Trump. You know, the issues on the border, and there are issues on the border, and it requires more funding, and also our 2% commitment to the NATO for 2% of our GDP. Those are two things that seem to really get under his skin. I think if we can address these and hopefully, distract him a little bit, he won't be so focused on tariffs, because tariffs are terrible. Tariffs are taxes. Tariffs cause people to have a higher inflation, job loss, and it affects both sides of the border. Nothing good. And if you look back to 1930, when the Americans did it last time under President Hoover, they had 20% tariffs, and it took the U.S. out of the recession into the Great Depression. So it was not good. In fact, it was Henry Ford that called it economic stupidity. So let's hope that we don't go down that path, and we can have great trade relations like we always have.
And here in Ontario, we're looking at an election coming up, of course.
Yes.
You and your neighboring mayors have all endorsed incumbent Premier Doug Ford. What are you looking for this election?
Well, this one I'm going to tell you, the number one priority for everybody above all is the U.S. This is the biggest existential threat we have ever faced. I mean, this could be job loss, threats in the numbers of hundreds of thousands of people. And anyone does their research, go back to the 1930s, look at what happened when the tariffs came in last time. As I mentioned under President Hoover, it was a disaster. So I'm very hopeful that we're going to deal with our border issues, our defense issues, and all the premiers united. And eventually, when we pick our new prime minister, they can go collectively as a team, visit the U.S., go to Washington. And I mean, we've fought and died alongside our American allies. And I'm hopeful calmer heads will prevail, and we're not going to get into a trade war. Everybody loses in a trade war. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you something that's sort of come up in the past couple of days as well. Premier Ford was asked about Marineland, as well as many of the other party leaders. He said this most recent death, the beluga whale, was terrible, that he's looking for any new ownership to come in to take care of these animals. And the NDP is calling for the closure of Marineland. I'm just looking to get your thoughts on how Marineland is handling this.
Well, that's a great question. We're all concerned about Marineland and the animals. I mean, for 60 years, Marineland was in our community, was very popular. But unfortunately, it's not as simple as closing Marineland, because they need revenues to feed the animals. The owners have died. They're trying to sell the park. And the Premier and Minister Cho, Minister of Tourism, come up with a plan called Destination Niagara, where they're going to invest in Niagara for all things tourism. We're very hopeful to get a new owner. We need someone to take care of the animals. We're hopefully it could turn into a sanctuary for the animals, and then go in a different direction, more of a Canada's Wonderland kind of attraction. That's what we're hopeful of. But right now, the biggest concern is it takes millions of dollars to feed all those animals, and just by simply closing it, who's going to feed the animals? So hopefully a new owner comes soon.
Yeah, we have around a minute left. I understand you want to do a special shout out.
My gosh. So my parents' 60th wedding anniversary, my dad, Lance Romance, thank you, Brian.
I know, that's incredible, right?
Thank you.
60th anniversary.
I had nothing to do with it, but there's Mom and Dad. There's Mom and Dad. And we're so happy for them. So my dad, of course, they got married the day before Valentine's.
Oh, my goodness.
There's the whole family. So my parents, there are 4 kids and 12 grandkids, and all the spouses, that's us. at Christmas. Of course, my mom's wearing her apron. She's like, of all pictures. So I said, well, Mom, she's always in the kitchen working away. That's my family. So we're a loving family, and my dad always said, you know, the family prays together, stays together, and we love each other. So we're all going to get together, celebrate my parents' 60 years of never having one single fight in all those years.
I definitely believe that. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations to your family. That sounds amazing. And thank you for your time today.
Oh, so great to see you, Emily.
Of course. We'll have everything up on our website and more Morning Live coming your way.